Welcome to StoryVoyage, where we dive into the most gripping and unbelievable real-life tales straight from the depths of Reddit. Today, we bring you a story of betrayal, cunning, and ultimate triumph. This is She Thought I Didn't Know, but I Was 10 Steps Ahead. Grab a drink, sit back, and get ready for a roller coaster of emotions. A few months ago, I started noticing the small things. A late-night text she claimed was from a work friend, a sudden interest in staying late at the gym, and the way she turned her phone screen away when I walked into the room. At first, I tried to brush it off. We'd been married for 7 years, and I wanted to believe in her. But something in my gut told me to dig deeper. It started innocently enough. One night, while she was in the shower, I glanced at her phone sitting on the counter. It was locked, but a notification popped up. Can't wait to see you again. The name? Just M. My heart sank, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I decided to play the long game. The next day, I installed a tiny GPS tracker in her car. It was easy enough, just slipped it under the passenger seat while she was busy putting groceries away. Over the next week, I checked the app religiously. Her work meetings and gym sessions often ended up at a cozy little cafe across town, a spot we'd never visit together. Then came the phone records. I logged into our shared phone account and saw countless calls and texts to a number I didn't recognize. A quick reverse lookup gave me a name, Mark. Still, I didn't confront her. I needed more. I took a day off work without telling her. While she thought I was at the office, I parked near the cafe. Sure enough, her car pulled up. She got out, all smiles, and hugged a man I'd never seen before. He kissed her on the cheek, and they walked inside, holding hands. That was the moment I knew for sure. But instead of barging in or causing a scene, I took photos from a distance and left. I wasn't going to just confront her. I was going to outsmart her. Over the next month, I quietly prepared. I copied all the evidence, photos, screenshots of her texts, GPS logs, and consulted with a lawyer. I found out that in our state, infidelity could influence settlements. I started moving my paycheck into a separate account and documenting everything so it wouldn't be blindsided in court. At the same time, I acted completely normal around her. I kissed her goodnight, asked about her day, and even helped plan a romantic getaway she suddenly suggested. I knew she was trying to cover her tracks, but I played along. The getaway was my turning point. I agreed to it, thinking it would give me a chance to test her further. On the second night, she claimed she had a migraine and wanted to stay in the hotel room. I pretended to go for a walk on the beach, but doubled back and hid outside our room. Sure enough, she called someone. I couldn't hear much, but I caught enough she was talking to him. The next morning, I acted like nothing happened. Inside, though, I was already planning my final move. 2 weeks later, I told her I had a business trip out of town. I packed a bag, kissed her goodbye, and left. But I didn't go far. Instead, I set up a hidden camera in the living room before leaving. That night, I watched from a hotel room as she invited Mark into our home, the same home we built together. They laughed, drank wine, and eventually disappeared into our bedroom. The next morning, I sent her a text, "We need to talk." When I walked into the house, she looked nervous. "How was your trip?" she asked, forcing a smile. I dropped a folder of photos and screenshots on the table. Her face went pale as she flipped through them. "You thought I didn't know," I said, my voice calm. "But I've been 10 steps ahead this whole time." She stammered, trying to explain, but I cut her off. "Don't bother. I've already filed for divorce. The lawyer will contact you about the settlement." As I turned to leave, she broke down, begging for another chance. But I didn't look back. That was 6 months ago. The divorce is final now, and I've moved on. It still hurts, but I find comfort in knowing I handled it on my terms. And her. Last I heard, Mark dumped her, and she's living in a tiny apartment downtown. It's funny how things come full circle. Thank you for joining us on StoryVoyage. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more captivating tales, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.